This is Optimal Living Daily Relationships, episode 54, 8 Myths About Relationships by Michael Fulwiler with Gottman.com. Happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome to the Relationships edition of Optimal Living Daily. This is the show where I narrate from some of the best relationship blogs in the world to you every weekday for free. If you're looking for advice on dating or parenting, or maybe you just want to hear an inspirational post about ways to reinstate happiness in your life, this is the show for you. And please, don't hesitate to share the show with your friends, colleagues, or anyone else who could benefit from the content. It's crazy to think, but these 10-minute posts are super impactful. To share the show with someone, send them a link right to oldpodcast.com/listen. Or you can simply show them how to subscribe right on their phone. Today, I have a post by Michael Fulwiler, who is the editor-in-chief of the Gottman Relationship blog and director of marketing for the Gottman Institute. This is actually our first article that we're featuring by him, so I'm super pumped to share it with you. And with that, let's get right down to business and start optimizing your life. 8 Myths About Relationships by Michael Fulwiler with Gottman.com. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by the barrage of quick-fix relationship advice offered by books, magazines, blogs, and daytime TV talk shows? Though it is no doubt presented with good intent, much of this advice is terribly contradictory. Like a quick-fix weight loss program, it abandons any attempt to support hypotheses with research, basing guidance instead on personal opinion and anecdotal evidence. Perhaps the most prominent quick fix advice is that communication, and more specifically, learning to resolve your conflicts, is the secret to romance and an endearing, happy relationship. This notion is a myth, and it's hardly the only misconception out there. Myths are destructive to a relationship because they can lead couples down the wrong path, or worse, convince them that their relationship is a hopeless case. We'd like to separate the fact from the fiction, using Dr. Gottman's The 7 Principles of Making Marriage Work to explode the 8 most common myths about relationships. Number 1, communicating using active listening skills in attempting to reach conflict resolution will save your relationship. While active listening is certainly a useful skill, it alone cannot save your relationship. As Dr. Gottman points out, even happily married couples can have screaming matches. Loud arguments don't necessarily doom a marriage. We all have our disagreements in a variety of different ways. So go ahead, break all those active listening skills. Keep in mind your affection and respect for each other. And remember that using a softened startup when bringing up an issue can override natural variations in conflict style. Number 2, neuroses or personality problems ruin marriage. We all have issues we're not totally rational about, but they don't necessarily interfere with our relationships. The key to a happy relationship isn't having a normal personality, but finding someone with whom you mesh. For example, Scott has a problem dealing with authority. He hates having a boss. If he were in a relationship with an authoritarian partner who tended to give commands and tried to tell him what to do, the result would be disastrous. The point is that neuroses doesn't have to ruin a relationship. What matters is how you deal with them. If you can accommodate each other's strange side with care, affection, and respect, your relationship can thrive. Number 3, common interests keep you together. It depends on how you can interact while pursuing those interests. Imagine that you and your partner are walking hand in hand into your favorite used bookstore, smelling that old book smell, coffee in hand, headed for the literature section. Romance is in the air. But wait, just around the corner in politics, a couple seems to be having a spat. Books are flying and tempers are flaring. You idiot! He will never get enough electoral votes. Clearly, enjoying the same activities can create incredibly strong connections between you and your partner, but these activities can also be a source of tension, depending on how you interact while pursuing your common interests. Number 4, you scratch my back and... It seems to make sense that deals should be made in order to maintain a sense of fairness and balance. and that in romance, a kiss should meet a kiss and a smile should meet a smile. In reality, deal-making and contracts, quid pro quo, mostly operate in unhappy marriages. Don't keep score. Build connection and strengthen your relationship by freely offering each other positive overtures and support. Number 5. Avoiding conflict will ruin your marriage. Everyone has different methods of dealing with disagreements. A constant barrage of honest criticism, for example, may not be the best policy. Take Sam and Maggie, for example. When Sam heads to the living room to watch the game, rather than getting in a tiff with him about the noise and constant TV watching, Maggie goes for a run and comes back feeling better. When Sam is upset with Maggie, he goes into the backyard to play catch with their daughter. Each finds a way to self-soothe, and they go on as if nothing happened. Finding a middle ground that you both can agree on can allow you to talk things out when you really need to, while avoiding clashes over every trivial matter. Number 6. Affairs are the root cause of divorce. In most cases, it's the other way around. Dr. Gottman cites research by Lynn Giggy, Ph.D., and Joan Kelly, Ph.D., from the Divorce Meditation Project in Corte Madera, California, who found that 80% of divorced men and women cited growing apart and loss of a sense of closeness to their partner as reason for divorce, as opposed to only 20 to 27% blaming their separation on an extramarital affair. The truth is that most affairs are not begun in an attempt to quench unfulfilled sexual desire, but rather in an effort to find friendship, support, attention, caring, concern, and respect outside of a relationship that feels lacking in these qualities. Number 7. Men are not biologically built for marriage. Certain theorists call upon natural evolutionary differences between men and women to argue that men have always been predisposed to have as many offspring as possible and follow successful reproduction with one female with a quick sprint to the next available, while women are inclined to nurture their young and attempt to keep the father close for protection. The conclusion they draw is that men are simply biologically more likely to have affairs. This is, in the modern world, not a particularly useful or accurate observation. It turns out that affairs have to do with availability of potential partners. According to Annette Lawson, Ph.D. of the University of California, Berkeley's Institute of Human Development, since women have entered the workplace in enormous numbers, the number of extramarital affairs of young women now slightly exceeds those of men. Number 8. Men and women are from different planets. We've all heard that men are from Mars and women are from Venus. This particular notion we may dispose of easily. We'll do the math for you. Dr. Gottman states that the determining factor in whether wives feel satisfied with the romance and passion in their marriage is by 70% the quality of the couple's friendship. And for men, the determining factor is by 70% the quality of the couple's friendship. So men and women come from the same planet after all. Dr. Gottman's research has shown that successful relationships differ from unsuccessful ones according to their relative strengths and weaknesses along parameters he describes as the 7 principles for making marriage work. We hope that the clarification of these relationship myths has been helpful. Apply this new perspective to your relationship every day and watch it flourish and grow. You just listened to the post titled 8 Myths About Relationships by Michael Fulwiler with Gottman.com. While this is the first time we're featuring Michael's content on this show, it's definitely not the first or the last time we'll be hearing from team members of the Gottman Institute. They offer a Marriage Minute newsletter that is founded on 40 years of research and clinical experience. Not only is it free, but it'll help improve your marriage in just 60 seconds or less. So, if you're looking to spice up the romance between you and your hubby, check out the Marriage Minute right at oldpodcast.com/marriage. That's oldpodcast.com/marriage. Also, if your friend or someone you know seems to be running in circles when it comes to dating, or your cousin can't seem to free herself of toxic friendships, go ahead and share the show with them. Every Monday through Friday, I narrate from some of the best relationship blogs in the world regarding dating, marriage, family, parenting, and basically everything else relationship-based. It may seem far-fetched, but these short posts offer some super valuable and life-changing insight. So, it may be just what your friend or cousin needs in order to get their lives back on track. Just send them a link right to oldpodcast.com/listen, or simply show them how to subscribe right on their phone. You'd be surprised how many people still don't know what a podcast is. And that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as I did. Tomorrow's post is all about being irresistibly attractive. So make sure and come on back for that one, where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this podcast, but also Optimal Living Daily, the show where I read to you from even more blogs covering finance, productivity, minimalism, personal development, and more from incredible bloggers like Derek Sivers, Zen Habits, Mark and Angel, The Minimalists, and all the ones you hear on this show too. So if you enjoyed today's episode and like taking amazing blogs on the go, come on over to Optimal Living Daily and subscribe to that one too. And together, we'll start optimizing your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.